levels, right? At all levels.
I had a group of teachers offshore, and we were using an ROV uh, with a camera on it so they could see the reef in real time rather than getting
Mm,
everybody off the
right,
ship and diving
right.
on the reef. And then the last one to use it, the the ship shifted, and the ROV got caught up under a ledge
Oh
and
no.
popped the cable. So that was a $35,000 ROV down on the
Yikes.
bottom of the ocean, and I didn't have scuba gear. I didn't have scuba gear with me, so we had to mark the coordinate. And then the next
Yikes.
day, I went out with two other divers, and we found it within 5 minutes. I mean, it was like amazing. I picked that thing up and hugged it.
Yeah, right in front of to the surface.
Took it
So were
back up to
you
the surface.
were you able to get the tether back together,
Yeah,
return?
it was an easy
Okay.
splice.
All
So
right. Complete loss. Just a little anxiety overnight.
yeah,
Right?
$35,000
Oh,
anxiety.
you know. Oh man, well that's good. And it ended well, right? You
It
got it
ended well,
back and
yeah.
you fixed it up.
And
So
the teachers got to see the reef in real
right.
time, which makes a huge difference, you know. And
Yeah.
that's one of
Yeah.
the issues that we've always had with Gray's Reef is bringing the reef to the people.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
not everybody can go 20 miles offshore and dive down 70 feet in, you know, in a half a knot to a knot of current and be comfortable with it. It's open, it's advanced open water diving, and you just can't do that, everybody. But yet we want people to see the reef because every day they affect that reef through our watersheds. So we have two major watersheds that flow onto the Georgia coast and actually go offshore. And we've done the dye, we've released the dye so that we know that that water that's coming out of the Savannah River and out of the Altamaha River actually make their way to Gray's Reef as in a freshwater complement, which is really interesting because this is 20 miles offshore, right in the Atlantic Ocean. So we know that the pollutants and whatever sediments are picked up in the state of Georgia, and for the Savannah River, it starts in northeastern Georgia, on the South Carolina border, and it is the boundary between South Carolina and Georgia. Savannah River is, and then the other river, the Altamaha, one branch of it starts on the University of Georgia campus in Athens, Georgia, and the other branch of it starts on Peachtree Street in Atlanta. Think about that for just a minute.
Gee.
Yeah, and so it comes through middle Georgia, drains about a quarter of the state, and whatever people put on their lawns, put on their cars, dump down their drains, flush down their toilets, it all ends up in the watershed, and all of that just goes right
Right
offshore
out.
to Grace Reef and affects it. So we're very anxious to help people see the reef, because once you see it, you understand
Yep.
that you are connected to it, and hopefully you'll want to not put any bad stuff down your
Right.
drains or on your lawns, or wash your cars with bad stuff. So
Yep.
uh,
What is the saying, Kathy? It's like we better appreciate or want to save what we know and understand. I know I butchered that, but I think that's why it is so important, to that what you were trying to do that day, where yes, you lost the ROV and then recovered it, and even looking at future capabilities with something less set up like this, where you could be out on a boat and live streaming live operations and explorations of the reef, because people care about what they know and understand. And I think we've got the technology now to be able to do those things. And once folks see the interconnectedness, and I think if nothing else, I'd like to think anyway, that this pandemic really helped us to appreciate that we are a global community, and that someone doing something in one area of the world can tremendously impact others in a far-reaching other part. So I'd like to think that this, you're trying to look at the silver lining of what's gone on the past year plus, and you look at it that at hopefully people have this better appreciation of the interconnectedness, right? That we really are a global community. Um, I'm looking at folks in alt space, and I can see some new folks wandering around in there, and I'm just wondering if we have any ROV competition students or team members in alt space. So I know there's a bit of delay from when I'm talking here to when it's getting into alt space, but if you're part of an ROV team and connected to the competition, do an emoji, right? Do a clapping emoji, a smiling emoji, a heart emoji, whatever you're inspired to do. Because I know, like I said, I was looking around and I can see some new folks in there, folks that I haven't seen in the space before, and I'm so grateful and excited, and I hope that as we continue to do more of these live events in our Mate ROV competition VR world, that we see more and more people coming in, because this is, I said it was the first time we're broadcasting live into the space, first time we've ever done it, but it certainly won't be the last, and we'll be holding other events live in alt space, live in either the Mate Auditorium, maybe the Mate Welcome Center, or the swimming pool. We'll be doing several other events from now up into the World Championship, and the idea is for the World Championship, again at the beginning of August at East Tennessee State University, we'll be doing what we're doing right now, and that's broadcasting the live stream into the space and encouraging folks to venture in and view it. And that was really a goal and sort of a vision for creating this VR space. You know, we know that one of the things that our participants really like and appreciate about the Mate competition is this social interaction, this camaraderie, this getting together. I mean, I heard one person say that it's more of a collaboration than a competition, and I think that that's something that folks are especially missing during this pandemic, the coming together. And we can't all be together. So this is a way in this VR world to come together and have this peer-to-peer interaction and this networking ability and this just shared experience. And so even though you're hearing us talking on the big screen, I would encourage people to be talking to each other in alt space, in the Mate ROV competition auditorium, because that is a goal of this, just trying to, although, you know, being here in person, having everybody at a world championship, having everybody at an event is ideal, and I don't think anything will ever quite replace that experience. This is another way to, again, facilitate that peer-to-peer interaction, social shared experience, and the networking. So we hope to promote it. We hope to have more people in there.
Absolutely. And so what we're looking at in the pool right now is the North Paulding County team just accomplished putting the turning the power off. That was the first thing that you saw them take away and put down on the bottom. And then they removed the plastic liner that traps the plastic in that bucket, and now they're putting a new one back in. You can see them, they just accomplished that. So they get full points for that task. And again, this North Paulding team is pretty efficient. They got in there and got her done. So now looks like they're going after maybe they're going after the net. Nope, they're going back up to the surface.
Okay,
for something. And